I have always wanted to slay the Lich King. To best Arthas Menethil in one-on-one combat, or I guess 25 in 1 combat, and become the Kingslayer. Depending on who you ask, this is the ultimate achievement. Conquering the Icecrown Citadel to many is a goal left unaccomplished, abandoned, because of time, gearing, socializing, or, if you're like me, because you're a scrub. Though, legends are never born. Legends, much like mistakes, are made. This is the tale of my return to Azeroth. A tale of getting banned for damage numbers, ninja looting bows from insecure hunters, naked Draenei stampedes, of course, ganking and corpse camping noobs, but most importantly, a tale about becoming the best mage in the world by any means necessary. Probably. I don't know, we'll see about that last one. This universe soda's so good, man. Huh? What's that? Oh, right. How does the story begin? Well, that's kind of funny, because it starts sort of the same way that every single success story in existence begins. Back when I quit World of Warcraft. What? Yeah, like my whole bit was that I was going to stop playing this game forever ever and never ever play it again. Ever. Yeah, right. But, you see, a certain somebody was vanquished in a dark alleyway by a multiversal hitman I hired named Young Moth.
Hey, I got you, bro.
But we all know that tale, and so because of that, I came back home to Azeroth, as I always fucking do. I logged into retail, and, I logged out. It just isn't my cup of tea of conjured water. So then I was left with one other option. After not touching the game for years, I decided to conquer World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic Edition, TM, to do what this stupid, reprobate kid version of myself was never able to do, and to mark off the only unchecked achievement on my childhood checklist. I made it my goal, then and there, to defeat the titular Lich King and become something of legend. With that, we enter chronological narrative mode. Buckle in, bitch, for a story that begins at character creation. Yeah, no shit. So, alright, what's my character? Well, since I was returning to the world after being fucking dead, I decided to make my character a Forsaken, you know, an undead, because I was dead, and you know, it's really subtle, but whatever, I'm fucking bougie. Then it was up to class selection. I was given a wide grab bag of goodies and some lamentable shit. The classes that I had to choose from were Warrior, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Mage, or Death Knight. Now, and oh, how do I say this? I don't want to come across kindly, but my name isn't fucking Judas. I'm not a teenager. I do not enjoy Little Peep, plus I'm not shit at the game. So, Death Knight was most certainly not on the table. I knew I wanted to play a caster because playing an undead rogue would be copyright infringement, and playing a warrior is for those who may be easily entertained, if you know what I'm saying. So now we narrow it down to the 3 casters: Priest, Warlock, or Mage. Now, Priests are known for something that I'm not really a fan of, healing. And while Warlocks get sexy succubus pets, I had to demonstrate restraint. Also, all Warlocks really are is just a magical Uber system that summons players from other locations and makes bangin' crystal meth. While that might be some people's ideal class fantasy, I had a different idea in mind. Mages. Utility aside, their whole thing is AoE damage, right? Like blizzard, ice coming down from the sky, shit like that. Now, I've always had a hard-on for AoE damage, no matter what the game was. And this can be traced back to the events of Cinderfall. To understand why I picked Mage, you have to fuck with the vision, and to fuck with the vision, you must understand where the vision comes from. You are entering into forbidden territory by knowing what I am about to say, so enter cautiously. It's the summer of 2017. I spent a lot of time in abandoned places, and when it would rain, hundreds of thousands of white garden snails would come out of seemingly thin air and attach to every plant, building, surface, you name it. And so, walking around in an abandoned rail yard, I had to be especially careful to not crush a pile of snails. And one day, I just so happened to be carrying a cinder block to use to reach the window of an abandoned warehouse, carefully moving around the snails as I went, so focused on not stepping on them that I ended up tripping and dropping the cinder block. What I heard next was a loud and harrowing. With wide eyes, I stared at the destruction that I had caused. I mistakenly massacred hundreds of snails who were on a grand pilgrimage, now all dead beneath a cinder block. Future snail scholars would refer to this day as Cinderfall, and on that fateful day, my heart changed forevermore. On that day, I realized just how fucking dope Liddy AoE damage is, gangsta. Yeah, I genocided snails, ask me anything. Oh, I'm going to hell? Yeah, I should fucking bet. They've been waiting for me ever since they fucking made the place. Also, what do I look like? Someone who wants to press buttons? No! From the bottom of my gallbladder, I do not want to be this guy. I whole-literally want to be this guy. You say it's too late to make it. What is it too late to try? So without a shred of a doubt, I went with Mage. As for the name,
is that kosher?
For once, yes it is. Apparently, it's really fucking difficult for people to type cozy on a cellular phone device because it tends to autocorrect to kosher. And so, over the years, I have been branded with this very unfortunate nickname. Seriously, stop fucking calling me kosher. I am so fucking over it. Meet me outside Quiznos, I swear to God. Bring a fucking hammer, you're gonna need it. But yes, my character's name is Kosher, though every letter is silent, so you can refer to me as... Alright, enough of that. Let's enter world. This crusade began as many do, with someone named Kicksum standing like a predator and waiting and calling me a dumbass with the cadence of an early 2000s sitcom character. Thanks, Kicksum. Afterwards followed the most uninteresting, wearisome, dull, and deadening chain of events that catapulted me to level 24. I was doing some questing, some mob farming, blah blah blah. You get it. But then, I hit a roadblock. There's gotta be a better way of leveling up. So I tried to find a group for some dungeons, but no one was answering. What the fuck is going on? So I asked in the chat of my faction's capital city, Orgrimmar, if anyone would be willing to help me with leveling my character. And against all that I thought would be possible, the loving hand of a stoner king reached out to help me. I like to think this was bound to happen ever since I gave those homeless stoners $100 in New York City 3 years ago. But regardless of why it happened, it did. I was at the right place at the right time. Blunts Z from the guild Toker's Haven took me under his hotboxed wing, bought me a wand, wow, some bags, no way, and told me about the dungeon finder. Wait, what? There's a dungeon finder? In my classic?
How we envision classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric.
So that was a fucking lie.
Whatever, I don't actually care. That's kind of cool. Blunts Z then invited me to join his guild, Toker's Haven, an honor bestowed upon very few. I then checked the guild info to find this gem. Everyone is welcome. Come join the smokers of Azeroth. Perfect. With a hospitable host, a tool that'll put me into a queue for random dungeons suited for my level with a randomized group of players also within my level, a wand for passive attacks whenever I run out of mana, which is gonna be a lot, and some much needed bag space. I knew what I had to do. The only thing that I could do, grind the ever-living shit out of dungeons with the Dungeon Finder, hit the max level of 80, and gear up for the Ice Crown Citadel endgame raid. Grab your monocles, whip up some Baroque tunes, and let us do some dungeons in World of Warcraft Classical Edition. Enjoy.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Though I parsed 99s across the board in every dungeon I stepped foot in, there stood yet another roadblock in my way. One that wasn't going to disappear overnight. I, as a mage, am a damage per second class, and we are a dime a dozen. Now don't get me wrong, mages of all types are crucial to any group. Sometimes. Probably. We make water, we make food, we got buffs, we make portals. Point is, I'm a vending machine, ask me anything. I'm always doing the most damage from my 2-button brain-dead Frost Mage Idiot combo, where I freeze fools in place with Frost Nova, then I make it rain on that ass with Blizzard. Entertainment. But, to the system, I'm not a Frost Mage at all. I'm just another DPS class, flown to the wind with hour-long queues for dungeons. And with that much downtime, I was really kicking myself for not picking Warlock to at least have a succubus to keep me company. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of characters one can find when sitting around in the capital city of Orgrimmar waiting for a queue to pop. Like this guy here named Welcome Matt, a dead naked Tauren role-playing as a welcome mat. Like literally, he's been here for 2 weeks and hasn't moved, and I'm starting to feel a bit ashamed on his parents' behalf, and that only makes me like him more. Or the botters running into walls, confused, their code scrambled using the fucking $80 store mount over and over and over again to break their rhythm.
See this shit?
Yeah, he's... What does this city come to?
And sometimes you just end up finding people around town with a vulgar name being a general problem for everyone around. No, I'm serious, look, but at the end of the day, you may just stumble across a smiley face made out of corpses, because there's beauty in everything, even death. But, dungeon after dungeon, I saw that there were less and less interesting people in the city when I was waiting for my queues. It was like the server was actively bleeding players, and at the same time, the queue times were getting longer and longer and longer, but why? Turns out, cause right when I decided to get into the computer game known as WoW Classic, Blizzard released an alternative game mode called Season of Discovery, and like 90% of people went there, leaving me in the dust trying to catch up in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Fuck. To get queues, I was gonna need a trump card, and I had to think hard. How was I gonna get to level 80, get endgame gear, then raid Icecrown Citadel before Cataclysm Classic comes out in the spring, practically making all of the classic things obsolete? I could do what most people are doing and just buy a level boost and then buy WoW tokens for gold and then use the gold to get into a GDKP. Fuck you. So I felt an impending dread wash over me. I had roughly until May of 2024 to beat Icecrown Citadel and become the Kingslayer. And here I was, still stuck in my 20s, just barely scraping by, you know, art imitating life. But I knew I had to step it up. I knew I had to do something to speed up the queue times. But what? Well, if let's say 80% of players queuing are face-rolling DPS just like me, and there's 3 DPS per group, it's going to be really hard to get into a dungeon, since they're in such low demand and such high quantity. But if, say, 5 to 10% of players are healers, and there's only 1 per group, then if I had a healer with me, that would, on paper, make queue times way faster, since they are in much higher demand and in far less quantity. So I reached out to my friend Damien and told him that I would buy him 2 months of a World of Warcraft subscription, and all he had to do was be the best healer in the world. I did not tell him this at gunpoint. It was at sword point. And against all odds, Damien agreed. I bought him World of Warcraft, reminded him that I own his sub and he will level a healer. And thus, he created a Holy Paladin, which I helped level up through dungeons and questing. His character's name was a reference to the little-known conflict referred to as World War I from the video game Battlefield. Austria. Good job. What's that? Why don't I have a tank with me that would substantially increase leveling times and basically catapult me to level 80 in just a couple of days? Great question. Hey, let's talk about that time that I got banned for doing too much DPS. A massive chunk of my leveling took place in dungeons, believe it or not, where I found a lot of interesting correlations. Tauren players are 9 times out of 10 fucking brain dead. Trolls are inherently hilarious. And gnomes are akin to mosquitoes in that when you see one, you want to fucking kill it. But when one exercises the right to be a baller gangsta mage and slaughter non-elite gnomes, you just might end up getting your account suspended. Now, I know that sounds a bit extreme, but let me clue you in on what type of people we're dealing with, ladies and otherwise. This happened in one of my first dungeons, in the depths of Gnomergan. I was massacring the gnomes, absolutely shredding these short sinners, skanking out with wild wizardry on every maniacal midget that I found. But as I went along, possibly my 20th time in this dungeon, Today, I made a grave mistake. You see, there's a part of the dungeon where it's like a gnome hangar, and there's a ton of gnomes just standing around that are fun to AoE down since they're non-elites and super easy to kill. So I did what literally everybody in every single other dungeon group I've ever been in does, and used AoE to bring a pack of non-elite level 27 gnomes over to my group of level 30 players with full heirloom gear, knowing full well that we can handle it. A matchup that we won in about 7 seconds, like all the other billion times it's been done. But I should have known who the true enemy was. My enemy was not amongst the gnomes for once, but rather my own team. Watch, betrayal is gonna be like a theme in this series. 2 players in the group were from the server known as Faralina, the streamer server. Ooh. Spend 5 minutes on Faralina, and you'll see it's what the world would be like if Germany won a certain war, and that only becomes more apparent in the next episode. So let's see how these fine gentlemen from the Faralina server reacted to my extremely normal play of killing non-elite mobs. ...
Bro, what are you doing?
Nothing much, what about you?
Well, stop.
Huh? I'll stop, I guess. Now, it was clear to see that this tank had what's called an ego problem, and his rogue boyfriend was absolutely in a Discord call with him. But to be honest, every other pull, he was losing aggro to the fucking priest. Like, what? Or in other instances, losing it to my Blizzard entertainment. After given well over 7 or 8 seconds to gain threat. Like, what? Sus. Once we cleared the dungeon, I let him know. There's some great tank guides out there for you, my man. Also, mail me the gold for the carry later. Heart emoticon. I say bait shit like this all the time and don't really expect anything to come from it. But he did not take kindly to this. I was messing with the wrong person. I was messing with somebody who enjoyed the movie Joker.
Maybe wait 2 seconds before nuking ... Tank guides cannot fix DPS, you can't wait.
I am not reading that.
Huh. Yeah, I'm surprised you can read at all.
I am not reading that. This seemingly commonplace argument, unfortunately, didn't end there. I was disconnected from the video game, and when I tried to log back into World of Warcraft Classic, I found that I was unable to. I reached out to Blizzard support, and apparently, a group of individuals had sporadically mass reported me, and someone had tried to log into my account from an alien IP. Huh? So, my account was locked until I changed my password. So wait, the tank got mad at me for nuking, apparently? Yeah, whatever, Japan. And then his little Faralina guild spam reported me for doing too much damage, and then one of them tried to hack my fucking account, resulting in it getting locked? Right, okay. How is that, in any fucking universe, a normal reaction to this? Whatever, I got my account back, and I have a better KD ratio than Jesus Christ, so who's laughing now? Me, dickhead. Ow. Who would have thought that this was just the beginning of how this poor mage is treated for being baller and swag? Welcome to WoW, man. It only gets worse from here. Hey, you guys know that dungeon called Sunken Temple? Let's talk about that one. So there's this rad dungeon in the game, probably one of the best. One that anyone with a fucking brain is well versed in. It's called the Temple of a Tall Hacker. Yo. Take my Microsoft Paint demonstration, bitch. The temple is a circle, the most basic fucking shape, yet so many people still do not know what to do. Thanks, guys. Anyways, this circular dungeon has a couple floors. On the top floor, you have to go around, in a circle, by the way, and kill 6 priests. Then everyone jumps down to the first floor. Now you defeat the first boss by carefully pulling the mobs, then demolishing the big man himself. And after that dance on eggshells, you make your way through the dungeon, slaying some meaningless dragons until you reach
The Shade of Arenicus.
Seems pretty fucking easy, right? Literally all you have to do is kill 6 priests, then jump off a balcony. It isn't hard, I promise. If it sounds hard, I'm making it sound hard, I swear. So why is it then that every single group that I got was balls deep in fucking stupid? I swear, these tanks had the brains that come from what happens when your family tree is a fucking family tumbleweed. They're more inbred than a fucking sandwich. Actual circus attractions, minus the wicked aesthetic. Cause circuses got attraction, if you know what I'm saying. Mimes, clowns, and jesters are sexy and cool. Move on. The people that I'd end up in groups with would miss priests, skip priests, argue with me when I tell them, hey, guys, we should kill the priests. Or they would demand me to dispel them when they got a sleep debuff from one of the dragons, which I can't. I cannot do that. Just Stay awake? Hello? No, I don't have the footage, so you're gonna have to believe me. Hard, I know. But we had a troll rogue in our group who kept telling me to dispel the sleep debuff given by some of the mobs, going as far as to call me a quote-unquote fucking lesbian when I wasn't able to. For some reason. Yeah, whatever, homophobe. And my response was to link my decurse ability in chat, tell him to read it, and then to recite to me back what it fucking says. He didn't respond. Now, what happened next, I do have the footage for. You see, the rogue and the hunter in our group were both trolls. They both looked, at least to me, identical. And because their names were seemingly nonsense, I had unfortunately mixed them up. Also, they were both from Faralina. Terrible omen. Anyways, as I was progressing through the temple of a tall hacker, I had it in my mind that it was the hunter who had gotten angry with me over not being able to decurse the sleep debuff when it was actually the rogue. And there I was, looking for a way to get my vengeance and punish the ass in the group. Little did I know, I was about to punish the wrong person deep in the temple, slaying dragons and whelps right before the final boss. The famed needle threader bow dropped. A weapon that is, and I'm not exaggerating, a 0.01% drop chance. 1 in 10,000. The hunter's eyes lit up. The world stopped. You could feel the excitement in the air. A bow that's whispered about in legend. A bow that's best in slot for multiple levels. So I told my friend, a holy paladin, to knead on the bow and ninja loot it from the hunter to show him his fucking place. My friend won the roll, got the bow, and then reality set in real quick. I realized that I had just mixed the innocent hunter up with the idiot homophobic rogue, and I ninja looted from the wrong person. I decided to play ignorant and ask what happened after he tried to kick my friend multiple times for being a ninja troll. That's not a troll, that's a blood elf. As he treated the stages of grief like a platformer, hopping from one to the next, the troll hunter eventually lamented out,
He can trade it.
No, he can't. Because you are, in fact, from a different server. After the fact, he tried to ninja loot my friend's gloves by rolling a whopping 2, and so I decided to turn the turntables on him and vote to kick him for being a ninja troll. And the best part is, it fucking worked. I run the temple of a tall hacker, don't even at me, you geek. This act of kneading on the bow, winning it, and kicking the hunter set a path for me. I bore a curse from that day forward. I branded my groups with a dark sign that forced into everyone's psyche that anytime a bow drops in a dungeon or raid, my friend and I must knead on it. Even though I'm a mage and my friend is a holy paladin, and we literally cannot use bows even if we wanted to, by the way. And while sometimes it results in less than desirable results,
Yo, need it, take it! They're trying to kick you. What?
other times this curse ironically rewards me. Hurricane. A drop so low that's marked as literally 0%. A bow that binds on equip, so you can sell it on the auction house. A bow that no one ever bought, so it just kind of sits in my bank collecting dust now. This is a curse that I will never decurse. And truth be told, it only gets worse as time goes along. But that doesn't matter right now. I'll tell you what does matter though. My health. And I'm not talking about the green bar at the top of the screen, you moron. More on that later.
Yeah, he might speak for the trees, but do the trees deserve to be fucking heard?
No.
That's right, I say we kill the Lorax.
Burn him. Flamethrower his ass.
We beat him to death in a junkyard at sunset.
The discussions that I get up to after spending countless hours straight in dungeons without any sleep can be a bit questionable, and so for the sake of my mental well-being and the Lorax's life, I decided it best if I got a breath of fresh air. Let's talk about all the low-level players that I killed. You best believe I got up to slaughtering low-level players in Stranglethorn Vale, Ratchet, and Duskwood. For if I don't do it, who will? Probably a lot of people. Now don't get me wrong, I was going to leave the low-level players alone. Really, I was. Probably. I wasn't. But when questing in the Western Plaguelands, two dwarves decided to attack my friend and I to steal a quest boss, and my ideologies flipped like Tanner Brongar off the vape. I murdered them and stole the quest boss right back. Over their corpses, I decided to take the battle to the front where it mattered. For if enemy players on the opposite faction, the Alliance, are not able to level up, then they will never be a problem later on, right? So what I'm doing is, in a way, really admirable, right? So I got to making the world a better place, one gnome at a time. And my monitor just fucking fell the fuck over again. I am so fucking
Beware,
Oh,
though.
here. Yeah, baby. You made. It's over for you.
There's a player. Oh, he will not fall for this. Hide in a bush.
I'm trying not to move.
There he is.
No, I don't think so.
It's insane how that trick always gets them. Again! As I fucking said it! So, we've been through a lot together so far, wouldn't you say? Banned for doing too much damage to a tank's ego, ninja looting rare bows from innocent hunters, camping and slaughtering low-level players in questing zones. And I know the question on your mind, where could one go from here? And the answer is down to the Shadowforged city in the depths of Blackrock Mountain, the largest dungeon in the game, with over 20 bosses and unique vendors, NPCs, extensive questlines, secret passages, an interlaced story, hundreds of drops, non-linear design, and an unmatched aesthetic that really makes you feel like you're in the endgame. But I wasn't going in there without blessings from the one, the only, SukMyRoot. My dear friend, my king, my liege, SukMyRoot, who we're gonna see more of next episode, danced with me on the roof of the bank before my grand adventure took off, and I headed into the game's hardest and longest dungeon. Thanks for the blessing, my man. I couldn't have done it without you. With one last glance at the world with my tree friend, I descended into the depths, and I did not come out the same. I ventured deep into Blackrock Mountain, to the capital of the Dark Iron Dwarves. And now it's time I talk about that. So, there were 3 clans of dwarves, and they suddenly said, fuck this, and then they all split up, and there was this huge civil war. Long story short, one clan, the Dark Iron Dwarves, fucked off to this mountain and said, yo, we're gonna live in this mountain from now on, and we're gonna nuke the 2 other clans for shits and giggles. Lamau. It's crazy that Blizzard actually let that dialogue slip into the game. And then the Dark Iron Dwarves attacked the 2 other clans. Oh no, but they failed so badly that they resorted to trying to summon the most powerful elemental being in the fucking world. And then they accidentally succeeded. Oh no, resulting in all Dark Iron Dwarves being enslaved by the previously banished Ragnaros the Fire Lord. Oh no, thus, the Shadowforged city exists in a fiery, chaotic, tragic state of despair, and I'm here to make it a bit worse, 'cause that's what I do! I'm sorry to say, but the lore is just too funny. Like, homeboys took L's all their life and then accidentally summoned one of the most powerful dudes in the fucking world and mistakenly enslaved their whole people. This only adds to the fact that this is, without a doubt, the best dungeon in the game, objectively, in my opinion. Fuck you. Though we wiped here or there and the total run took about 4 hours, we managed to demolish it. We entered Shadowforged City as but lowly silly thugs and left with so many upgrades. We were practically 2 ships of Theseus, ready to set sail into the vast blue yonder. Every boss was demolished in no time at all as we skanked out from one to the next with streamlined efficiency, a glint in our eye, a spring in our step, and a fire in our belly. Also, with a tank who actually had the key to open the fucking doors in this dungeon, it made for a most pleasing experience. After hours of shredding through the mobs and bosses of this vast city, we finally reached the final boss, Emperor Daegran Tharasan and Princess Moira Bronzebeard. After slaying the corrupted emperor and allegedly freeing the Bronzebeard princess, I took the throne for myself. And our group took a screenshot cementing this as one of the most fun experiences anybody can have in the world of Warcraft. Maybe only seconded to that time a bunch of naked Draenei ran into Orgrimmar begging for sex and were slaughtered by the masses. Seriously, I love this type of shit. There's like 200 naked Draenei stampeding into Orgrimmar over and over again, only to all get shot down at once. Keep it up, guys. This is fucking art. Though, where our legend takes us next has not that much to do with naked Draenei for once. It takes us deep to the bowels of Lower Blackrock Spire, where after countless hours of pure, unadulterated gameplay, that magical moment came, and so did I. The moment that I beat Vanilla World of Warcraft and obtained level 60. There I was, fighting some guy who has lore I don't fucking care about. Tough shit, homie. This is my fucking show. I run this shit. Let's fucking yes, dude! With level 60 achieved, Vanilla WoW has been beaten, and I can progress to the game's first expansion. Our crusade continues onward to the shattered world across the stars known as Outland, a planet of desolate alien technology, ancient demonic magics, and a Cosmo-eating army, the Burning Legion. A legion that plans to invade Azeroth in a burning crusade. Wow, it's like the title. But first, I had some unfinished business. I sent Blunts Z a few hundred gold and thanked him for helping me get started, for I would be nothing without him. Now, how was I able to just casually send my friend a few hundred gold? Well, you're gonna have to wait until next episode to see how I became a WoW millionaire. Sorry, I make the rules. With newfounded riches, a homeless stoner given money, level 60 acquired, and a cosmic adventurer awaiting for me on the other side of that astral doorway, I danced one last time with SukMyRoot and ventured out. But in the canon timeline, this is where I left for a month to spend Christmas and New Year's with my fiance, and so we're gonna have to put a pin in the story for now and end the episode here. Haha ha 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 ha. Before me stood the enormous portal that led across the stars to the remnants of another planet, where my journey takes us next. A tale filled with backstabbing betrayal, skeleton jokes, hitting max level, SukMyRoot, fire mages, and enough PvP to leave you and me broken. But that is all a story for another time. This is a fucking video game, and I want to blow shit up. Like, here's how much I care about normal things, and here's how much I care about ice spells in video games. On a tier list of lame stuff, ice spells would be an S tier, because they're lame. Fire spell, good. Ice spell, bad. Fire spell, good. Fire spell, good. Fire spell, good. Fire spell, good. Remember what you are. Last time, we witnessed the birth of a legend, got mass reported for hurting a tank's ego, watched Damien ninja loot a bunch of bows, and saw the death of hundreds of lobies, then celebrated that sweet level 60 ding. And that was only part 1 of 3. Whoa, it's like a trilogy or something. So buckle in, person watching me, for this is the big episode. This is the tale of how I become the best mage in the world. Allegedly, the story of how I hit max level. An adventure that is a path riddled with edgelords in the Outlands, skeleton jokes, SukMyRoot, remembering my roots, nether drakes, and above all else, heaps of betrayal. But we'll get to all of that shortly soon, I promise. But we have to pick up where we left off, which was, where was that again? Oh, right! I was walking up towards the dark portal with my buddy Damien. Surely he'll do no wrong to me, right? Sometimes foreshadowing is obvious. On the other side of that astral doorway, my crusade continued onward. I bought the ability to fly for Damien and me. Dude, I'm balling in the dough so much I might get a yeast infection. With our beings turned in for the ability of flight, we went straight to questing and demolishing dungeons in the Outland, which came with screaming pussies and a lot of Death Knights. Jesus Christ, why are there so many? After spending a month away from World of Warcraft, I must admit that I started to resemble the industrial pipe that I used to threaten my mailman. That is, I became a bit rusty. I can make a 2-button class look exceptionally difficult. Hell yeah. Look out for those bombs, cuh.
Yeah.
Just wipes with Sweemy, you're not a fucking hero. I'm actually really happy that I chose to be a frost mage because ice spells fucking bang when leveling. The pace at which I was moving at was unparalleled. I was fucking potting up for random dungeons. Ice spells really were the way to go. I was doing absurd numbers. And on the topic of numbers, it makes me think of one of my favorite jokes that Sammy used to tell before he died. I think it went like this. Why was 6 so afraid of 8? Cause 8, 9, 10. 10 levels needed, that is the goal, to reach level 70 and get finished with the Outland. In the process, however, while there was some argumentation, the only worthwhile story to tell is the one with the angry selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Let me clue you in on something, homie. We were deep in the bowels of the Underbog. This place is Light Sam's wet dream, a fuckfest full of fatal formative fungus, a fungal funland fungus verse filled with furtive frenzied frogs, sentient spores and spiteful synonyms or sinful snakes, sitting and spitting slanderous spoils, or ill-natured poisons in a place where no one has a bedroom but everyone has a mushroom. What? I didn't just go there. This alliteration shit is really getting old, but you get the point. We were in the Underbog, dishing it out with mushrooms and fungi, when it dawned on us that the tank we had was a Death Knight. Distressing indication, to be entirely frank with you. And not only was he a Knight of Death, but he was a DPS Death Knight who decided to queue as a tank to get into dungeons faster with complete and utter disregard for everybody else he was getting into groups with. Now, sometimes this isn't a problem due to how Death Knights are designed, but this was, yeah, his name literally has bad in it. This was not one of those times. We wiped 6 times due to Fuckboy McGee pulling many mobs, not knowing how to handle it, and wiping the group more times than I wiped my ass after eating glass. It was at this point, after 6 wipes, where I was laying in my corpse, as I do, awaiting my revival, like Jesus, that I accidentally clicked need on a random play piece that dropped. I didn't win it, by the way. Besides, Damien is the one who ninja loot stuff. I'm just guilty by association. Anyways, this accidental need seemed to shatter the morale of our bottom DPS warlock, who had been silent the entire dungeon. He lamented onto us that this was the final straw. Enter Soloft, the angriest antidepressant since Prozac.
You guys special stupid or something.
Who?
I'm edging right now.
Got much needing on plate and a DK tanking blood prez.
Yeah, I'm rolling on plate to take it from the bitch-ass DK who can't hold aggro. While it was true the Death Knight couldn't hold aggro, the rest was not truthful. But I wanted to stir the pot and make more drama because it's funny, it's a video, move on.
Hell yeah, I'm tanking. I'm not waiting 40 minutes in queue. XD.
Once we were all rezzed and things were going, smoothly, I decided to take a sleep and wait for the rest of the group that were all behind me still, since I was apparently wasting Soloft's time by being faster than him. Once he managed to catch up, I gave him a little slash yawn just to poke his buttons a bit, but he reacted, radically.
Guild of
Racial slurs.
I swear.
Whoa, Soloft, come on, would ya? You can't say that stuff, man. Soloft is a walking satirization of the worst parts of this generation, and that seemed to be the final chapter of Soloft. Oh, but how wrong I was. Oh man, he's back.
He got to DC.
Fast forward to the next night, Damien and I had made our way to the Mana Tombs, a labyrinth that was once part of a Draenei holy site, now twisted by the Shadow Council. Ethereals from outer space inhabit this place, ripping it to shreds in an attempt to feed the insatiable greed of their leader, the Nexus Prince Shafar, who believes there to be vast riches in these shadowy halls. Also, Rick Ross is here. Check it out. But the only thing rich was the encounter we had when we met back with our dear friend, Soloft. Instantly, I whipped up a plan to kick him from the group for no foreseeable reason, because I do not like him. Please. Please. Fuck!
Ninja looted play. Fuck, man. Pussies.
But it failed, both times that I tried it.
What is wrong with y'all?
Asked Relanth from Horde On, a guild that we'll be getting to know very well very soon.
Man, he's a bitch!
I did not relent, however. I attempted to kick Soloft for no reason, yet again, and yet again, it failed. We were beginning to lose hope, but my brain was working a million miles a second now. How could I manage to succeed in getting Soloft kicked from a group in which he has done no wrong? What can I do? What can I play at? Then it struck me. If they didn't take this bait, I knew I had to step it into overdrive.
Come on, man.
Dude.
Huh?
You try to kick him, and the reason is, trying to kick other player or something. Trying to kick person. Trying to kick me. I don't know. Please.
Please, take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait.
What would be 510 IQ enough to get this party to kick this racist weirdo to the curb for my own satisfactory shits and giggles? And then it dawned on me when the tank fucking died and asked Damien where his heals were.
Heal?
You were just standing.
The plan set in. And to be fair, Damien was just standing. Why wasn't he healing as a healer? I don't know, but I gave the prompt to kick Soul off for the reason, no heals. To make the group believe that I was actually trying to kick Damien. And it fucking worked?
Oh my god, I'm a fucking genius.
Fucking amazing. Arst kick.
Fuck out of here, Solop. The only other funny thing that happened in the level 60 to 70 dungeons was the time in Mana Tombs where the tank repeatedly teabagged Damien and me. The 2 times that we died, which we most certainly deserved. But then I saw that they were from Faralina, and thus, we took it personally. So Damien chose to not heal the tank on the final boss, because it's a video game, and a fun one, if you let it be fun. The tank died, then got mad. Wow. But next to that, not much else occurred in the Outland, yet. So I'd like to stick on a relative pace for the fun stuff and slice down all the other stuff. Damien and I both hit that level 68, and it was tremendously gracious. We had beat the Burning Crusade. We celebrated and congratulated one another as we often did, and set our sights onto the final goal for leveling. Now we can progress to Northrend. But because this is a riveting TV drama, do you think we can just take a Zeppelin and get there normally like everybody else? No. So here's the time we went through an active war zone to escape and take asylum in the north. Enjoy.
Holy shit, my clone. They're an undead frost mage, and they look exactly like my character. Same hair color, same hairstyle, same face. You didn't die, did you?
Spare me, please!
What the fuck? I found the way to get to Northrend. Alright, we buffed?
We are buffed, ready to go.
Alright. Let's get out of this safely, and let's get to Northrend.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
We can do it, we can do it, we can do it.
We're going to Canada. Fuck this place. We're gonna meet Reed up with Arthas.
We meet and read with Arthas. Let's go. He bought a level boost. You on the roof with me? Let's go. Ooh. It's the fucking Zeppelin, man. We gotta book it.
Oh no. Oh please. No rogues.
Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! You can do it! You can do it! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes, dude! Let's fucking go! Holy shit!
God.
Holy shit.
Now, finally in Northrend, we have reached the final bastion of leveling. The road is set to level 80, the max level in WoW Classic. This is the endgame. These are the final zones, and from every corner of this tumultuous wasteland, the ice-crowned citadel looms overhead. So now here we are, in the frigid tundras of Northrend, finally caught up to speed. Ooh, I'm so cold. Arthas, the Lich King, is a bad guy, TM, and he needs to be taken out, as in killed. But I cannot stress this enough, I am not going to be able to murder the big man himself as a level 70 Frost Mage. I needed to hit that level cap and gear up to get into the massive fortress of ice and undeath, the Ice-Crowned Citadel. I also needed an actual guild. I joined the guild with the funniest name, that being Has a Horde On, which just so happened to be the same guild as the legendary SukMyRoot. Segues are weird, and you're probably wondering, where am I? Well, here's the time I fell under the subterranean bug kingdom of Ankahet.
You took a breath after that. No!
Oh Jesus.
What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
Dude, I broke the game. I broke the game.
Are you in the wall? Where are you?
I'm underneath the dungeon.
No way.
I'm underneath the fucking dungeon.
No wonder you're gonna fucking heal you. You're not even here.
Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh my god. Dude, that's a sick ass screenshot though.
I get some
This is
B-roll like
intentional.
this. This is on purpose. Yeah, I'm gonna get some B-roll like that. I'm like, you're probably wondering where I am.
But the truth be told, in regards to leveling in Northrend, let's just say it was time to hit the snowy fields to grind out quests and dungeons. This is a montage segue. Throw on your fucking motley, force yourself to smile through it all. Oh good, you're already doing that. Get your jingly little shoes on, and come with me for some carnival crusading. Get your mind out of the gutter, snap out of it. Hey! Do drugs. Drop out of school. Stratholme never happened. Do not let the government control you. Alright, good. I was just making sure you were paying attention, because I am am not going to sift through 30 hours of footage to show you every single little funny thing that happened from level 70 to 80. So let's just get to max level in a minute instead with a good old Justice Festus aesthetic on top, cuh. It's time to hit that max level, Jester style. Cause fuck it, I'm the skeleton Jester!
Wait, what? What just happened?
What?
I heard the fucking dungeon notification, but we didn't get anybody. It's fucking weird.
Wait, you heard the fucking thing?
Yeah, I heard the thing, but it didn't pop out anything. I was like, what the fuck? Why? Fuck. Look, it did it again. It did it again. What? There's no notification. Yeah, nothing.
Wait, it played the sound again?
Yeah.
I swear, it's probably someone just leaving and then, like, re-queuing or something.
Oh.
Really fast.
Look, it did it again.
I heard it that time. I heard it that time.
It did it again. Fuck
What
you,
the
dopey.
fuck?
Yeah, that's a trip.
What the fuck is going on?
Nothing's changing.
Yo, wanna see some crazy shit? Check this shit out!
I hit level 80 in a Crash Goblin Zeppelin. Yeah, nice. And for the last time, the golden flakes snowed down around me. Now, when I'm playing the game, I won't feel like I just snorted coke off a pair of massive tits every few hours, as I no longer receive experience points when doing stuff. Instead, the game consists of obtaining good enough gear to get better gear to eventually be able to raid. Haha, haha. I love video games that slap my dick with a fly swatter until it inflates like a balloon animal. Anyways, a new looming threat came overhead. Phase 2 of Season of Discovery was coming out, which meant that most players, especially the ones interested in the endgame or raiding, were gonna drop off again, just like the last time a Season of Discovery update happened, and it would be insanely difficult to find a group for Icecrown Citadel, especially one that actually clears the raid. I was running out of time. With Season of Discovery updates and Cataclysm Classics beta right around the corner, the window for opportunity in clearing Icecrown Citadel was becoming slimmer and slimmer, but I was determined, and I was prepared. After dinging 80, I ported to Dalaran and instantly equipped all the endgame gear I had gathered and stored in my bank. Yeah! Oh, wait, you're probably wondering, how did I obtain all of these really expensive BOEs and high-end pieces of gear? Because I'm better than you? Go away. No, but for real, between you and I, it's a really humorous method, but it works. I just so happened to make over 180,000 gold in World of Warcraft selling skeleton jokes. Oh, what's that? You don't believe me? Are you fucking stupid? Do you even know who I am? I don't, but I'll tell you this much. You can giggle all you want, but it won't be free. No, I'm serious. Look, 10 gold for a banger skeleton pun. What do you say?
Tell me your joke, funny mon.
What did the skeleton chef say when he served his meal? Bon appetit, mon! Fuck. Come on, it's at least worth a gold or two.
I got nothing to live for.
Wait, what are you doing? No, no.
Damn, you made him jump.
Eddie! Wanna buy a skeleton joke?
Obviously.
Who is the skeleton's favorite musician? John Bon Jovi?
More.
More? Alrighty. What did the skeleton artist make? Sculptures! It's like sculptures, but with a skull. I'm here all night.
Those were very good skeleton jokes.
Thank you, Eddie. SukMyRoot! Wanna buy a skeleton joke?
Yeah.
What did the skeleton artist make?
Man, you can suck my root!
You've promptly shook me to the core. What did the skeleton say about the vampire?
Question mark.
He said, "You suck!" Hey, I'm taking tips. Please feed me, I'm all skin and bones. Literally. It's because I'm undead. Holy shit. I love taking advantage of the primal coping mechanisms of mankind for profit, dude. Hey, Victor, wanna buy a skeleton joke?
Buy. How much?
Yes, 1 gold! Why was the skeleton's education so good? 'Cause he was homeschooled. It's like homeschooled. And he started that program in Skelementary School. It's like a 2-for-1. Huh? Aww. Aw, you're too kind, Victor. I'm crying tears of elation. Say, does anyone want to buy a final skeleton joke for the night? It's going at 9 gold.
Victor does. 9 gold. Oh.
Yeah,
right.
Victor! Alright. Why couldn't the skeleton eat any spicy food?
HMMMM.
'Cause he couldn't stomach it! And also 'cause he doesn't
That is a good
have
one.
a stomach! It's a skeleton! They don't have those!
Oh my god.
Oh, so it
They
makes...
don't
yeah,
have stomachs.
exactly, Eddie, they don't have them!
Hilarious.
It's wild how that works. I feel so theatrical. I'm in an extra theatrical kind of mood.
That's wonderful.
Say, are you two familiar at all with Shakespeare?
Ain't that a polearm technique?
All that I can say is that a Shakespearean skeleton's favorite city is New York.
You're a big fan of theater?
Maybe in a past life.
I've been on this stage once. I was too nervous and I froze.
It's okay. One time I went on the stage, and this happened.
You're clever.
Many thanks, sire. Triple C, buy my joke. 30 gold, like you promised. Why was the skeleton so lonely? 'Cause he had no body to hang out with. I actually did it. Oh, let's fucking go. Yeah, that's right. Hey, you used that joke yesterday! You're damn right I did. After securing almost 200,000 smackaroos from selling skeleton jokes as a dead person, which would make Sammy very proud. Rest in peace, Sammy. I was now suddenly the type of guy to walk up to a homeless guy begging for change and whip my cock out, cause I was just that rich. I bought some level 80 gear months ago and stored it away for this momentous occasion. Though, some very troubling news hit me the moment I hit level 80. I, as a baller frost mage, am most likely not going to be invited into Icecrown Citadel due to me using ice spells, believe it or not. Apparently, while ice spells are absolute gangsta swag while leveling, the moment you hit max level and enter into the endgame's grind cycle, ice spells become bad. Probably because we're in the frozen northern part of the world, but what's your theory? This revelation tossed me into a frenzy. That meant I had to change my entire class to Fire Mage for a steep price, and then learn how to play that class, gear up to a high gear score, all against a ticking clock, mind you, and learn to perform well enough to get into and completely clear the Icecrown Citadel raid. I decided instead to put all that off and focus on Winter Grasp, because I need roughly 200,000 honor points, fucking kill me, right? So that I can get enough PvP gear to raise my gear score up high enough to enter endgame dungeons to grind out all these wacky tokens for endgame PvE gear. If it sounds complicated and monotonous, it's because it is. World of Warcraft is 20 years old and it is a bastard's game. What ended up happening was I would set my alarm on my cellular phone device for every 3 hours and literally wake up every 3 hours and log into World of Warcraft Classic just for Wintergrass. But I loved every second of it because I slap in PvP unironically since ice spells bang against players. This was my peak performance. This was the grind of the century. I was hooked up to a fucking dopamine machine just constantly surging me full of that good. It's like my award-winning poem, The Red Light District of the Mind I Adore. It's never a bore when your thoughts are a whore. And boy, was I in the Red Light District of the Mind. Soon enough, my gear score, which is a fuck-off number that's determined from the average item level of my current gear, was rising like my cock off the crank. and in due time I was ready to partake in some Gamma dungeons with the guildies. While there was more tribulations than trials, most of them with Faralina attached to their names, I found Gamma dungeons to be monotonous and shit. These are the hardest dungeons one can run in the game. Hard as in flaccid, because it boils down to the same exact dungeons you did while leveling, but with goofy gimmicks. But regardless, I took Gammas like a meth head takes a baggie of crushed up Ritalin. That is to say, with a grain of salt, and a hyper-fixated, obsessive, borderline psychotic urge to do as much as I could in any given day. And in time, with the mindset that is intended for World of Warcraft Classic, I was finally able to purchase my best pre-raid staff and other miscellaneous gear pieces. Now at 5.7 thousand gear score, I was more than ready for entering Icecrown Citadel. I was really fucking powerful. Yeah, you have the right to bear arms? Well, I got the right to the whole fucking bear. Get on my level. If anything, I was postponing finding an ICC group for a number of reasons. The biggest amongst them being that I had to learn an entirely different class. Yeah, fuck that. And my good friend Damien, who I promised I would not enter Icecrown Citadel without, still hadn't responded to me or logged onto WoW in a couple of weeks or so, and still hadn't even reached 80, due to him being terribly busy. Regardless, I still spent 46,000 gold on gear for him to surprise him when he had some more free time and was able to hit level 80, and bought him another 2 months of World of Warcraft once his sub ran out, because I like to do things for people that I like. That's why I created a whole other paladin and leveled it up with him. But it begged the question, I wonder what Damien's up to. I don't know. It's none of my business. But hey, I'm gonna go get some sleep and set my alarm for 3 hours from now so I can head into Wintergrass, because I don't want to respec fire yet, and I want to wait for Damien to even try to get into a group for ICC. So, I'll catch you on the flippity flip. I hope that you unlock the ability to become a Black Mage. Now, and this is a fun fact, but Black Mage is actually synonymous with pyromanic tendencies. Upon becoming a Black Mage, you embellish your lame experience, and in a few words, become fucking God. A rundown. I got ice spells, I got thunder spells, I got utility spells, and I got fire spells. The ice spells, thunder spells, who needs them? Fuck them. Excuse me, bartender, I did not order this shit. I said I wanted to make shit explode. DPS, efficiency. What do I look like, a virgin? This is a fucking video game, and I want to blow shit up. Like, here's how much I care about normal things, and here's how much I care about ice spells in video games. On a tier list of lame stuff, ice spells would be an S tier, because they're lame. But yeah, fire spell, good. Ice spell, bad. You get the picture, I hope.
Yo, you're finally here.
What? Who's there? What's going on? What is this place? Who are you? Is this some cringy exposition dump or something?
Oh, shut up. Look at you. An undead frost mage. That's quite the interesting combination, especially after what you said all those years ago.
Come on, look, let me go back. I have to get to Wintergrass by 9 o'clock or I woke up for nothing.
You still haven't woken up at all. Oh, come now, Kosher. You do know when one is undead and then brought back to life, their brain gets a bit scrambled, yeah? They lose memories, lose parts of their personality, lose themselves. You really don't know anything about who you are, do you? You quit WoW and came back and just expect everything to fall into place, didn't you? What? It's me, the fire mage that you were supposed to be, the part of yourself that you forgot, the part of yourself that you need now more than ever, the person you would have been if you weren't fucking impaired. I'm the person that you need to be now.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Wait, I got a whole other dude in me?
No, I'm... What? I'm you. The you that you don't remember. Oh Jesus. Okay, remember when you quit WoW, when you made the video about Final Fantasy XIV? Remember what you said? What you swore to be your code?
No.
Exactly. You said that on a tier list of lame shit, ice spells would be at the top, because they're fucking lame. We want to make shit explode. We want fire, we want brimstone, but... Look at you. You spend 3 years away from WoW and look what a mess you've become. You don't even remember who you are. A frost mage? Are you serious?
I don't know. I thought it was good for leveling. I wanted AoE and...
They're ice spells. We hate ice spells. How did you forget that? Wait, okay. Now I'm starting to worry what else you forgot. What's your name? Who do you think you are?
I'm Kosher, and I'm gonna kill the Lich King.
Hey, not as a frost mage. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, but what does that matter? Frost mage or not, my friend Damien and I are gonna grind the shit out of the...
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh no, calm down. Wait, you don't know about that either, do you? About Damien? No. Wait, what? What about him? What are you talking about? Ooh, okay, well, remember how you bought him WoW for Christmas after he asked to help with a breakup he was going through? Remember how he told you he was really grateful when you bought him 4 months of a subscription? Remember how thankful he was when you bought him gear and had your guild craft gems for him to get him the 4.5k because of how quote-unquote busy he was once you hit the end game? Yeah. Oh no, you're so innocent. I almost don't want to tell you. You are so undeserving of what happened. Well, anyways, look at this. What is this? Who is that? What am I looking at? Is this a parody account? What type of name is that? Nope, this is entirely unironic. This right here? This is our buddy Damien. Yeah, it turns out he had a whole secret Twitter account where he was talking shit about us behind our back. He would screenshot private DMs of us venting at our most vulnerable and lowest places and post it. He'd make fun of our autism without spelling the word right, call us every slur under the sun, make fun of our sexuality, everything about us. And for 5 years straight, too. Oh, that's a long time. That's the whole time that we knew him. And he was stabbing us in the back and scamming us for the whole time. And everyone else around him. Ain't that something else? No, that can't be true. Well, then, also, instead of DMing us to talk like a normal person, he posted a 30-page Elliot Rodger-esque manifesto full of typos and contradictions, trying to beg for our forgiveness, but...
I am not reading that.
But why? I thought we were friends. I think all the incel posting and self-pity speaks for itself. Look around, bud. Pull the daggers out of your back and stand upright. Your friends all abandoned you. You have no allies left. Time is running out. No one, and I mean no one, is going to take a frost mage into Icecrown Citadel. It's not gonna happen. It's in the fucking name, Icecrown Citadel. Like, hello? Do you think a frost mage is gonna be efficient in that? No, you need to remember what we are. You need me. I'm a part of you. I am you. Unscramble that undead brain of yours and remember me. I'm the Chaosmancer. I want to blow shit up and giggle while doing it. You best believe I love embers and flames. And to be frank, fuck ice spells. Cause that's what we are. That's who you are. A fire mage stuck in a frost mage's body. Oh, cause when I quit WoW, I died. Then when I came back, I was raised from the dead, so I was undead. And because I was undead, I lost my memory of who I was and who I really am, my suppressed memories. And then now here you are. And so now they're coming back to me. Yeah, good exposition, dumb genius. It's for the Marvel fans who watch me, you know, just in case. Alright, yeah. So let's give some more exposition then. Recall and tell me what we are. I want to hear it from your mouth. Okay, I'm the Chaosmancer. That's me. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get it now. Exactly. Accept me. Become who you're meant to be. Think of who you are. You have nobody left except for yourself. We don't have a choice. You have to accept who you truly are. Well, it depends. Do I, if I do, will I still have, you know, AoE spells? Fuck yeah, homie! When you respec a fire, you get to turn enemies into whole-ass living bombs. Ain't that the raddest shit since Crystal Castle's off the Walkman? Fuck. Yeah, you said it. Me? Dude, you're like the smartest guy I've ever met. Then, in that case, since I was betrayed and have no one left, I accept you. I'll say it again. This time with some bravado. Who are you? I'm the Chaosmancer. I'm a fire mage. I'm a fire mage. And everyone's gone. Except for you. Or rather, except for me. I still have me. Hello? Yo! Frost mage! Where are you? Where'd you, go? Right. Huh. Guess I'm me now. I'm a fire mage. I finally respect fire! Fuck yeah, dude! And then I respect a fire mage.
Yeah, I'm dramatic. So what? Get over me. Anyways, the thing about Damien, yeah, that's not a bit. Is it alright if we get real for a second? No character, no roleplay, no caricature that's for the video or whatever, just you, the unseen person on the other side of the screen and me, the person that you think you know? That question was rhetorical and pointless because you cannot answer, and I'm going to talk about it regardless. So I was friends with Damien for 5 years, and I thought it was great. Like, he'd tell me how depressed he was. I would buy him a game or something in a game, like a Warframe or something. We'd play together, we'd have fun, so on and so forth. And I thought, like, I was helping him. He would always tell me, well, I'm so happy that I have someone on my side, or I have someone to spend time with, or whatever. But it turns out the entire time he was just taking advantage of me, and pulling on my heartstrings to my face, while behind my back he was shit-talking myself and all of his other friends on his little diary Twitter account for, like, no fucking reason. Like, he posted private DMs, he complained constantly. He brought up all sorts of things that had no reason being brought up. And mind you, he's doing all this and saying all this stuff while he has no job, lives a spoiled life, and is a self-identified incel. Dude, I'm starting to think I can see why she left you. But this whole thing still came to me as a shock. Seriously, what type of person acts like this? I'm glad he's gone, but I never really did have many friends, and Damien was the only friend I had who played WoW with me. So to realize that all along Damien wasn't a friend at all, it kind of burnt me out. The whole situation, my momentum and excitement to become the best mage in the world and kill the Lich King or whatever, it fizzled away and I lost the wind in my sails. Anyways, I blocked Elliot Rogers' reincarnation across everything because only a fire mage can burn bridges. And the guildmaster kicked him after everyone learned about what he was doing. I tried to move on and focus on the goal at hand, but my time was running out. Season of Discovery's update was in a few weeks, which would suck the players out of my server like a horny vampire. Cataclysm Classics beta was literally right around the corner, and the only friend that I had who played WoW with me was not a friend at all. And I don't know about you, but going into 25-man raids completely alone has always been kind of nerve-wracking. So the idea of being able to do it with a friend made that goal feel so much more achievable and made it feel a lot less scary. So to learn that Damien wasn't a friend at all, but was actually just a horrible person, it really felt like everything was falling apart around me. And I couldn't help but blame myself. Surely there was something that I had done that made him backstab me for 5 years straight, right? And surely there was something that everyone else in his life did to him that made him need to do the same to all of them, to like all of his other friends that he was shit-talking. And while it took me a bit to come to terms with it, I realized that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. I don't know much about the world, but I know that people make their own choices. It's pretty fucking obvious. It's never your fault if somebody else is a dickless sloth, for lack of a better word. Damien is envious, and he chooses to use that envy as an excuse to lash out at everyone around him instead of learning to communicate or improve himself. Also, his name is Demon the Devil? Death Jr.? Are you fucking serious? You can't even, like, satirize him because he's already satirizing himself. But seriously, who the fuck says this shit completely unironically with no ounce of self-awareness or shame and posts it publicly?
I'm sorry, Emily. I really am. And I thank you so much for cheering me up, making me like you, making me care for you, making sure that sweet little girl inside of you was still alive and breathing. I'm so happy that you didn't die yet.
Anyways, it was certainly upsetting to learn who he really was and to be all alone in Azeroth again. So now you're probably thinking, how the fuck are you gonna segue into being quirky, goofy, and fun again? And it's like this. Out of fear of being rejected, abandoned, or further betrayed, I shut myself out and hid away. Burnt out from the endgame, I ran from Icecrown Citadel, right when I was at its doorstep.
I hid the chat box on my WoW client and threw a wrench in the grind's momentum entirely. And this is when, in a lonely and confused state, I decided to do one of the only things one can do in WoW Classic entirely on your own. I outcasted myself to Outland and took on one of the most notorious solo grinds in World of Warcraft, the Netherwing rep grind. Essentially, it's like an acute stabbing pain in the anal region of the groin over and over again, and what I mean by that is you log on every day to do daily quests, then meticulously hunt for 1% drop rate eggs that also spawn in random locations at random times, and you turn those in to gain reputation for these orcs who tame these rad looking dragons as mounts, all whilst a bunch of other players are looking for these eggs and doing the same daily, so there's constant competition and stress involved. And the best way that I can explain it is, it was kind of like participating in an Easter egg hunt in a psych ward. Literally, I killed over 24,000 mobs hunting for these stupid fucking eggs. But at least I was alone, right? Well, next to my competitors. Fuck off, guys, seriously. But why would anyone reasonably want to put themselves through such a horrific solo rep grind like this one? It's a fucking mount. I suppose while I obtain a sick-ass mount at the end of this grueling rep grind, the real reason I sought out this obnoxious task was because I could do it on my own. And it went something like this. Boom, bitch! And just like that, after only like 80 or 90 hours, I reached Exalted with the Netherwing, with no weak auras, no fucking hand-holding, no guides, just pure unadulterated king shit, like the boss bitch that I am. Bitch! I had myself a sick-ass set of mounts, another exalted reputation under my belt alongside my ginormous cock, and I did it all completely solo, entirely self-sufficient. As a fire mage, mind you, I spent those 90 hours meticulously learning about the fire mage class. All on my own, I'm the fucking best. I'm on top. I can do anything that I want, all by myself. I don't need anyone's help. I don't need friends. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone. I'm the fucking Chaos Panzer. I'm the Skeleton Jester. Or whatever the fuck. I reign supreme. There is nothing that I cannot do on my own. Not a single fucking thing. Oh, right. It seemed at the end of it all, while I reveled in my loneliness with the Netherwing grind, my overarching goal was one that cannot be completed alone. This is a game that requires teamwork after all, and I had lost the only team member I thought I had. Lonely and burnt out, I chose to uninstall WoW Classic, giving up on the grind, on the story, on the video project entirely, and the days began to rack by. I started doing other tasks, playing other games, working on other projects, but one day, I went out to the old closet in my hallway. I was going through some old stuff, looking at decorations and nostalgic pieces of history half remembered, when I found something that I made countless years ago from a plastic sword, blue duct tape, and a Sharpie. I found my Frostmourne, the blade of the Lich King, the silly sword that I made when I was too young and stupid to play World of Warcraft with Wrath of the Lich King when it was the current expansion. The sword I made when I gave up on the very same goal of slaying Arthas all those years ago. And if people really are what they choose to be, since I've given up on becoming the Kingslayer twice, does that make me a quitter? Hell no, I ain't gonna quit. Are you fucking serious? With the silly plastic sword in hand, I promised that stupid reprobate kid version of myself to do what he always wanted and become the Kingslayer. That stupid plastic sword made me reinstall WoW Classic. I mounted my starry dragon and stood at the chilly ramparts where I stared up at the villainous obelisk that gloomily loomed over my head, leagues into the malevolent blue sky. Sat atop my nether drake, I took a deep breath that fogged in front of my face like a ghostly banner, and with a newfound fire in my belly, a king on my hit list, and a fake friend lost, or rather, some incel that I realized wasn't a friend at all, I decided that while I may be hurt again, I may be betrayed once more, and I may lose friends as fast as I make them going forward, I was going to do what the past me was not able to. I was going to complete Icecrown Citadel no matter what, and there was quite literally no way of doing that on my own. I only had 2 weeks or so left to complete my goal, but I knew it was possible. I was at the gates of Arthas's Mephistophelian castle, and soon enough, I was going to slay him with my bare hands. I knew that it was possible. It won't happen by chance. It can only happen if I choose it, and thus I walked forward with one goal left in mind, one that I will complete no matter what. I will slay the Lich King and become Kosher the Kingslayer. I have always wanted to slay the Lich King. Ever since I was a kid, too stupid to comprehend the endgame of World of Warcraft. Ever since I made my first character way back when in 2007. But years later, there I stood in 2024 at the ingresses of the frozen fortress of Frost and Undeath, the Icecrown Citadel, at the threshold of my dream. One would think that the journey to this tumultuous final raid was the hard part. All the leveling, dungeons, drama, snails, the backstabbing, the Faralina players. Surely it can't get any worse, right? One would assume that the worst has passed, that the hardest challenges have been vanquished, that the path that laid ahead of this undead fool at the doorway of Arthas's malevolent, iniquitous citadel was facile and tranquil. It's what I assumed at least. But little did I know, the most strikingly strenuous challenges were yet to come. This is the story of how I became Kosher the Kingslayer. Greetings, heretics, and welcome to the final episode. Last time, I achieved max level, obtained the nether drakes, and became a 5.7k gear score god with pyromanic tendencies, and 100,000 gold under my belt. From being the raddest skeleton jester out there, seriously, I'm more wicked than a kickflip at a witch trial. And though I burnt out and quit right at the doorway of Icecrown Citadel, after finding a stupid little plastic frostmourne that I made years ago, I made a promise to my younger self that I would complete this quest of slaying Arthas the Lich King and become the Kingslayer. To do such a feat, however, I had to conquer Icecrown Citadel, the immense final raid of Wrath of the Lich King, a malevolent fortress filled with 12 intense bosses. And way up there at the tippity top of Warcraft's peak sat the final boss himself, Arthas the Lich King. And I had to do all of this before Cataclysm Classic came out, which would make the Kingslayer title sorta obsolete. But to reach said peak, we've got a bit of a climb to do. How does one even get into a group for Icecrown Citadel? At the end of the expansion, when most people have already done it, quit, and moved on. Oh, you know, you just get your 24 fully geared speedrunning buddies who all know the fights and mechanics together and knock it out in a single night. Easy squeezy lemon peasy, right?
No!
Let me tell you something about World of Warcraft. You either need to be in a raiding guild, have friends, or be Jeffrey fucking Bezos. And despite all my swag, I have no king to dance for, yet I still wear the motley. In other words, I apply to none of the aforementioned. So let's break it down a bit, contextual style. On the chronological timeline of events, we didn't yet know when Cataclysm Classic was going to come out. Players speculated that it would be around May, so I set Cataclysm Classic's supposed release in May as my deadline. However, I yearned to clear ICC sometime in February. Spoiler alert, I didn't fucking do it. Public groups always fall apart at the Plague Wing, and I realized that most classic WoW players would not survive an auto parts shop because they are bafflingly terrified of mechanics. Ooh. On top of that, my guild has a Horde On abruptly shattered overnight, which was then followed up by so many other shit experiences with trying to get into raid groups that I can't even get into, because if I did, we would be here for like 2 hours talking about how hard it is to get into a fucking group when even GDKPs are shutting me down on the basis of being a mage. Every week I ended up in Icecrown Citadel, and every week ended in failure. A loop of doing the same 4 bosses over and over again, only to disband when the raid actually starts. And the only thing that I got out of these lamentable test runs was a fucking bow. I'm a mage, I can't even use this shit. God, I really am cursed. It was not looking good, and the clock was ticking. Classic WoW is a Faustian vicissitude, but I was not going to let that stop me. I'm going to hell anyways when I die, and Classic WoW is essentially a free subscription-based trial of the 7th circle of hell. So if I succeed in my quest or not, I'm gonna benefit. But the thing is, I actually wanted to succeed. However, the player base were dropping like flies. Guilds disappeared left and right. GDKPs didn't want me because they already had tons of mages. Cringe. And pugs were as fun and effective as stapling unfinished crossword puzzles to my taint. My goal was becoming harder and harder by the day, and Cataclysm Classic only loomed closer and closer. Yeah, it's really not looking good. In March, however, word caught the wind that there was one guild running 25-man Icecrown Citadel raids multiple times per week, consistently and professionally. They mostly did GDKPs and made hundreds of thousands, sometimes up to millions of gold in the process. This was a well-oiled machine. This guild was, in many ways, sort of like the MMO equivalent of the cartel. And with every other guild falling apart, everyone was turning to them and them alone to attempt to get a clear. Because of the abundance of people signing up for raids with this guild, actual guild members took priority over any other person attempting to sign up for a raid spot. So, to beat my competition, I had to join the cartel, although there was a massive barrier of entry that existed between this guild and me. They were intense. They were serious, they were sweaty, they were skilled, and played the game like it was their job, and they expected nothing short than the best from anyone who joined, and they were known as Synergy.
If you're serious, like, if you want to actually clear Icecrown Citadel before Cataclysm, then you have to join Synergy.
Knowing this to be true, I ventured out to become a member of Synergy. I sought this guild out with no plan in mind, but I shit you not, when I opened the game to look for a Synergy member to talk to, my computer fucking passed away. Blah blah blah. My fiance and I got a new PC, and it arrived in, drumroll please, mid-April. Yeah, it is not looking good. Something else that arrived in mid-April was the release date of Cataclysm Classic. My deadline was finally given a clear date, April 30th. Oh god, this isn't gonna happen. I had 2 weeks to join the cyber cartel, Synergy, to prove myself, get a raid spot, clear all 12 bosses and all encounters to beat Icecrown Citadel, get the Kingslayer title. Almost fucking everybody else on the server is trying to get into a group with them, and then I have to live to tell the tale. Or I guess be undead to tell the... you get it. One question. How the fuck do you join a cyber cartel? The answer is an interview. Yeah, and it's easier. My last guild fell apart really quickly. Has a Horde On. They wanted to raid. People started raiding, and then it just fell apart really fast. So now I don't have a guild. Like, I'm excited for Cataclysm Classic to come out. I know I'm probably in the minority for that, but I want to have like an actual guild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Like, I'm just gonna let you know, this is what I tell everyone, not just you. Like, if you're like, you know, it's a GDKP, but GDKPs are also performance based. If you're like, the advantage of GDKP is if someone's really bad and they perform bad, like they're gonna get penalized for gold or not come next week. Because I'm not gonna, you know, hold up 24 other players if someone's just constantly wiping their raid or not getting it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying like that's the expectation. Again, I'm just setting expectations. I don't want to like, you know, scare you away, but like, you know, we're pretty casual to like, you know, semi-serious, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, that sounds great. And then
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
What's with your trinket?
What trinket?
Needle encrusted scorpion.
I just have that because the other one that I had was a PvP trinket.
Okay, I'm just asking. There's probably a real reason because it's.
Yeah, the other one that I had was for like resilience, because like.
Okay, I get you. I'm just asking. There's probably a reason behind that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. Yeah, I mean, welcome aboard. I have to type your weird ass name in. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry about the O.
I hate everyone with fucking weird ass symbols and shit.
Though I was intimidated and never went into an interview for a WoW guild before, I bit the hook and got a spot in Synergy. I was the 6th person to sign up for the closest raid, a 25-man heroic Icecrown Citadel, which was happening on Thursday, April 25th. Wow, 5 days before Cataclysm comes out. But as more and more raid signups showed up, I started to worry and wonder why the fuck were so many people signing up for this raid. Turns out because this was the final one before Cataclysm. In other words, if I fuck this up, if I get kicked or if I underperform, I'm done. After all the shitty pugs, the guilds collapsing, the computers dying, I had but one sliver of a chance remaining. And that sliver of a chance was going into a raid I've never done on its hardest difficulty with a serious sweaty guild and perform like this game is my fucking job. I would say wish me luck, but as luck would have it, Lady Luck was not on my side. You would not believe my gut-wrenching disbelief when I woke up a week later on April 25th, the day of the raid, and found that my name was not on the raid roster. I was kicked from the raid before it even started. but there were 2 spots empty, so I decided to speak to the manager. Yo, what's poppin'?
Yo, sorry, like I'm not really good at responding again. I saw your message, but we're like in the middle of PvP. I'm not the one that does the rosters. I have multiple officers that do that for me. A couple of things need to happen. Oh, they're fucking following us. You wanna message the officers to let them know you're aware. 1 million people want to get in, right? Like there's 50 to 80 people on your side, only 25 spots. So the combination: do we know you? Are you consistent? Being in the guild doesn't guarantee. Oh shit, they're coming. It's a combination of, you know, are you capable? Are you geared? Your logs, flashing gold definitely helps as well. All those things, and also letting people know, because if you just sign up, like they don't, like, let's be real, they don't know who you are. I don't remember, and like there's 1 million people that signed up, so I don't know if that helps. There's a core. Oh shit, come back. Let me pick me up, and then get up there. Fuck. Oh fuck, they're coming. Where do you jump? Did that kind of answer your question, Kosher?
Yeah, that answered it. Gold flash, that's like when I just take a screenshot of my gold and then like, what do I like, message it to one of the officers or something when I sign up?
Yeah, I mean, people want to come all the time. They don't have any gold. Like, they can't buy anything. Like, you're not useful to the raid. But without talking to someone, like, you're just a name. Oh, they're coming.
All right, that makes sense. I'll let you guys get back to the Siege of Normandy or whatever you're doing. A crushing defeat, with no logs to show, barely passable gear, and a hope that once shone brighter than the sun above. I lamented onto deaf ears, for I felt the death rattle of my dream soothe me back to the grave. They had no idea who I was, so why would they let me into their last raid of Wrath of the Lich King Classic? I was defeated. My dream was dead. Until I remembered all my cryptocurrency. It's like, it's a skeleton joke. I felt the enormous weight of all the money I made from skeleton puns, and it dawned on me how one actually joins a cyber cartel. You join it much like one would join a real cartel, by shutting the fuck up and letting your money speak for you. So I dropped a message in the sign-up channel, which you're not supposed to do. What do you have? The Guildmaster Preachy asked. Boom! I won the single-player dick measuring contest. Instantly after letting the Guildmaster Preachy know that I'm sort of swagged out in so much dough that I may get a yeast infection, I got a mysterious invite to a group in-game. I was then summoned to Westfall, and my confusion evaporated quicker than acetone. This was my initiation. They want to see me kill. They want to make sure I'm legit. In an instant, I buffed the party up, and we rode out across wind-torn fields towards the lush green forests of Elwyn. It became evident in no time at all that Synergy was leading a raid to murder the king of the Alliance, and I was right there alongside them. The Alliance's defense was laughable, dire, and abundantly pathetic, which is to be expected. This isn't at everyone on Alliance side. If you went one-on-one with the Lorax or the Midas Hand or anything like that, you would learn really fast why you're nobody's hero. If a pawn could play chess, you would be a pawn's pawn in a pawn shop. I've seen dudes in Synergy one-shot Alliance players mid-flight. It's no surprise that their capital city's defenses were limp and tragic like a dead turtle's cock. But with King Varian Rin slaughtered and served for fucking brunch, we decided it wasn't enough. Like primal fucking animals, we took the tram to the dwarven capital of Ironforge, cradled in the snowy mountains of Dunmoreau, and massacred countless Short Kings, followed by the Short King of Short Kings, King Magni Bronzebeard himself. In no time at all, the small person was dead, and I had blood on my hands. And it felt great! Right after my genocidal blood-filled initiation to the cyber cartel, Preachy whispered me that she would get me into the raid tonight, followed by a simple welcome to the guild. You've gotta hand it to him. Bringing me by for some good old-fashioned world PvP to get accustomed to being a Kingslayer before the title actually drops is one hell of a way to get to know a group of people. Once you've fucked with a raw vibe and committed radical regicide, there's no going back. You're gang for life. And surely enough, that night, after my bloody initiation, I was invited into the final raid group that would head into those frozen halls. 25-man heroic Ice Crown Citadel. Things were actually looking good, but know this, if this raid somehow fails, or if I get kicked or removed for any reason, I'm locked out of this raid. So I can't get invited into another group, not that there are any. I'll be done. Synergy isn't doing any more raids after this one tonight, and Cataclysm comes out in 5 days. Like, I know people like to dramatize things for the camera or whatever, but this is actually my last chance. They're expecting a top performing mage, but they're gonna get me. And I've never done Icecrown Citadel past the first 4 bosses, and I sure as hell have not done them on heroic. And I've somehow ended up in a 25-man heroic Icecrown Citadel raid. Dude, I might be fucked out of luck here, but those stakes were high, my cash stack was higher, and thus, with a benzo popped, I mounted my nether drake and flew to the frozen citadel. One final time. Upon arrival to the citadel, there was this sort of overwhelming anxiousness that took a hold of me. Yeah, on the surface, I was gonna face the jailer of the damned and all of his misfit godlike besties in his castle made out of Cthulhu blood, but that's par for the course at this point. You see, all the fools and otherwise that joined me today in this Saronite citadel had gear scores soaring far and above 6,000. When looking face to face with the numerical differences in our skill, it was hard not to realize that I am a feeble plankton who has hopped from my little glass of water to an ocean out of Lovecraft's wet nightmare. But regardless, I joined the Discord voice chat to get this road on the show. Yo, what's poppin'?
Hello. Strong healer would be very good.
I go find one.
Well, that was
He said.
Okay, you tell me what you want to do, you shuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Fallen's just a fucking naysaying. Well, you just fucking got a grudge. Chip on his fucking shoulder. Crybaby bitch.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hostile. Somebody needs to go jerk off, dude. Bounce off some booty cheeks.
Oh my goodness.
It seemed I joined on a day where no one had properly de-stressed, which, to be copiously candid with you, only raised the stakes in my mind. To be absolutely frank with you, I felt like I was in the movie Whiplash.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head?
Kosher? I'm gonna get bitched around, and the worst part is I deserve it. Oh shit, we're pulling.
Don't fucking do that ready check shit, just go.
Compared to all the shit runs I unfortunately experienced in the weeks leading up to the momentous occasion that is today, clearing the trash up to Lord Maragar felt like I was surrounded by 20-something fucking hardened soldiers with the power of the goddamn sun, searing our way through the opioid epidemic's greatest champions. We were nimble, efficient, effective, and fucking deadly, though there were skeletons of skeletons, it's like a joke, they were no match for our unrivaled bullshit, and fell victim to our crusade of whimsy. Then it was on to the first boss himself. The karma I had to face after gaining gold the way that I did, the Skeleton King, Lord Maragar. Fittingly enough, Lord Maragar in the lore is a dude that was just stitched up together by the Lich King out of bones of players who attempted to raid Icecrown Citadel in the past but failed. He is said to be constructed of the bones of 1,000 fallen champions, which just might explain how fucking easy he is. If some numbskull, or dare I say it, knucklehead, can't get this far into the raid, then yeah, I say you should be Frankenstein into a fucking blue boner. Quickest, fastest way to get a boner. His mechanics are fittingly brain-dead nonsense. Basically, every few seconds, he will impale multiple random players with bone spikes from the bone ground, and you gotta get rid of them, or people who are impaled fucking die. He also shoots loads in random people's directions. If you're wondering, how does he shoot loads without genitalia? Then I have a feeling that no matter how often you raised your hand, the teacher never picked on you. But he leaves behind this blue fire after all of his love shots, and if you stand in it, you will die. Then after a bit, he'll do the spin, span, spun, time to have some fun type of move where he goes all over the place, spinning around, doing damage to anyone who touches him, and placing massive X's on the floor made out of blue fire. All while he's impaling random players with bone spikes. Or, to simplify it, don't get hit by him when he's spinning, don't stand in the fire, and kill the fucking bone spikes. At this point, Lord Maragar is easier than giving up. This guy isn't a fucking problem, but now he is dead. Deader. He's deader than he was before. He's vanquished. After facing off against the physical manifestation of all of my skeleton puns who materialized to punish me. It's like a joke. We moved onward to the second boss, Lady Death Whisper, who really should be renamed since she has done no whispering and instead has a fucking monologue that goes on effectively until you kill her. Let's get into that. Ooh, Lady Death Whisper is the successor of the legendary Lich Kel'Thuzad. She became the leader of the Cult of the Damned. While it sounds like the type of heavy metal band that has like 20 songs but only one good lyric, it is surprisingly not that. But since this cult of living members who serve the Lich King never actually succeed in their immensely grand plans to take over the world, one could say that they radiate the same type of energy. Members of the cult of the damned yearn for undeath, but they treat it as something sacred that one must earn. This resonates in the fight for Lady Deathwhisper, as if you really want to die on this fight, you have to really fucking earn it, as in you have to try to die. I tested it out. Besides from the soliloquy of agony, a lot of this fight is revolved around killing ads. You see, she's broken up into two phases. That wizard dick made her bipolar. The first phase has her sitting still, being weird, talking too much, and maintaining a bubble around herself. And we are tasked with bursting Bubble Buddy and massacring the ads that spawn from either side. In other words, hit the right fucking guys. When they're dead, it's time to slap the shit out of the bubble. And once you've hitten the bubble enough, Lady Deathwhisper becomes the average React streamer the moment that they are fairly criticized, in that she will become enraged and call upon her league of strange, bony cultists to engage you in battle. Horrifying. She will also randomly mind control members of the raid party, turning them into enemies. Because it's classic WoW. She will be shooting out constant ice bolt barrages and spawn ghosts on the ground that chase random people for shits and giggles. And if they touch you, they
about to bomb this whole motherfucking plane.
Then there's like 2 or 3 other random fucking things that she does. Don't worry about it. This is not a guide. Get over my swag. Despite many sources saying that this is one of the harder encounters in Icecrown Citadel, she is most definitely not that. However, some things cannot be avoided, as before Lady Deathwhisper could die, she hit me with her ultimate jutsu. That is, my homie fucking Rylov got real shit brainwashed. I'm talking dead-ass mind-controlled and ripped their famous catchphrase, "It is time to eat some dick." And some dick I ate, as they killed half the raid in one foul attack. Yeah, but they do be pumping though. As I lamented in the liminal space between states of being, Lady Deathwhisper was massacred, squandered, vanquished. Need I say it? She has passed away. It is time to eat some dick. I absolutely agree. Y'all cultists ain't shit. This boss so mid that the only thing that could kill me was a real shit mind-controlled warrior in our own group. Though the Fallen were not the only ones to drop, as a cloth belt dropped, which a number of people wanted. But if I wanted to secure myself in this group, I had to drop the cash real fucking quick. So without even looking at the stats on the item, I slammed my bid down for the belt. 8,000 gold. Despite the competition, the auction fell silent, and I won the belt. Let it be known, I wasn't gonna let that shit fly, though this next boss certainly was gonna fly because it's in the air. I have a whole joke about that. So alright, so in this one, the airships, they go into the sky, and then there's people on the cannons, and they go pew pew, and they shoot the fucking other ship, and you like hop back and forth and kill ads, and then the guys are like, "Oh no, get off me ship!" And then, but you can't, you don't do that. So you kill a mage, and then there's ads, and you shoot the ship, and then the cannons, and then thanks for watching. Hey yo, put a pin in this, pause it. Shout out Frank! You did it! The airship fight is the most dull and deadening event. I would rather watch Dragonflight cutscenes.
It was about coming together as a family.
Once the SS King shit a fuck mountain docks at the upper reaches of Icecrown Citadel, we are instantly faced with the 4th boss, Draenosh Saurfang. Son of the legendary The Rock Saurfang, Draenosh Saurfang led the Horde's attacks against the Lich King, though he was defeated in the famous Battle of Angrathar, the Wrathgate, slain by Arthas himself, and brought back to life, legally changed his name to Deathbringer Saurfang, and now that he's his little plague puppet, Arthas puts him on display to guard one of the many gates to the upper reaches of Icecrown Citadel, while Arthas sits around all day doing that. Also, you gotta make Deathboy Saurfang's dad kill him, but fuck it, we get loot, so... Deathboy's mechanics are interesting. If you want to know more, I suggest watching a fucking guide. Basically, spread out, mobs will spawn, kill them, debuffs happen, deal with it. There's a stacking thing and a dot and blood stuff, and the longer he's alive, the more damage he does, and the faster he attacks. Oh, and if somebody dies, it heals him for 20% health and empowers him, so... Pretty please, murder him, don't die. do it in an orderly fashion, marching band if you could. Oh yeah, and do a cartwheel while you're fucking at it. Thanks. The main thing to really focus on when you're raiding with a streamlined and efficient cartel, however, is killing the blood beasts that spawn. Literally just stick to that. Everything else is out of my hands. They got that shit covered. Yet, somehow, when people in this raid were told multiple times to kill the blood beast, I found that I was like one of the only people doing this.
Like there's literal classes in this raid.
Hey, there's me.
Just tab and hit 2 abilities and do like 70k damage per net. I'd like to just point out that a Affliction Warlock was the top damage on Blood Beast. You should all consider uninstalling the fucking game if that's the case.
Sound advice. Though, despite the Blood Beast situation, I did not uninstall the game, since I am not a 25-year-old virgin holy paladin with level 50 trinkets equipped at 80, prioritizing strength and cloth gear. He is still single, by the way, I wonder why, but rather I'm a god-pumping fire mage with cosmic importance to this mortal realm. And because of this, Saurfang just another lich loser who dusts the bite, bitch? 5 times 5 equals 25? The fuck out of here.
Hey guys.
With Saurfang defeated, and his father sobbing like, Jesus, get over it, we progressed inwards to one of the 3 wings of Icecrown Citadel, named for my favorite horseman of the apocalypse, beside Tiny Violin. This is my preferred place to party with Pestilence, as it is the Plague Wing. Oh, whoa! A plague your way will brighten my day. The Plague Wing is comprised of 3 bosses, the Abomination Twins, Festergut and Rotface, and their abnormally hilarious creator, Professor Putricide, my favorite character in Warcraft. More on him in a sec. First, we gotta show their pet dogs that we the type of guild to open carry to the kennel. And with the K9's K-Ild, we march our way into Festergut's Fuckfest. Guys really just live like this and see nothing wrong with it. Festergut is pretty trivial. You gotta kill him in 5 minutes, otherwise everyone, believe it or not, dies. Essentially, we all take ticking damage because we're sick as fuck. Everyone needs to spread out. Festergut is inhaling his fumes and getting stronger. Weirdo. And every like 30 seconds, 3 random players will be selected and have a gas spore put upon their head. The 3 spore guys need to spread out, as spores tend to do. Then everyone else needs to run to one of these spores and get hit by an explosion that gives you a dot that gives you a stacking buff called inoculated, blah blah. You get it. You do this 3 times and then boom, now you're immune to this thing called the Blight. What's the Blight? Good question. It's when Festergut inhales a bunch of this shit and then has a fucking asthma attack and pukes out lethal gas into the entire room, and anyone who doesn't have 3 stacks of inoculated gets fucking pwned. If you don't have 3 stacks, then, well, you gotta end up being fluent in cough speak like this guy. Side effect of knowing the forbidden cough speak is death, which is exactly why we murdered Festergut. Great job, guys. I parsed wildly. Now let's go kill his brother. And wow, nobody turned the valve. Wow, Rotface. Homeboy's feeling a little sickly, feeling a bit feverish. Let it be known that we could not care less. I will gun down a sick child if it means I'll get some loot for it. Rotface's mechanics are ill nasty, yo. He spawns pools of pestilence around the room, which you gotta avoid like the plague, and also spawns a green slime. The green slime has to be kited around the room, and anytime somebody else gets a green slime on their ass, they need to merge it with the first one, which makes it bigger and bigger and bigger until it pops like a bubble at a balloon animal orgy, which in turn makes a bunch of goo get splattered everywhere that you gotta dodge. Also like an experience at a balloon animal orgy, in theory. Beside all that, just hit the boss and avoid getting hit by things and move around and avoid dying. I'll have you know I treat my life like a medical roguelike. I'd be making Advil edibles and Benadryl mountain mix. You never know what you're gonna get, if it's gonna be a power up or a debuff, but this set me up for the Plague Wing pretty well, I'd say. I'm medicated in a way nobody else is, and no illness can get through to me since I'm already so fucking ill! And now Rotface is dead, which cued in his creator, Professor Putricide, to mourn for him.
Terrible news, everyone. Rotface is dead. You were always my favorite. Next to Festergut.
Oh god, I love this guy. Alright, buff up, let's kill him. Good old PP. Good news, everyone! It's on to the best character in Warcraft, the guy that invented sex. I mean, come on, he is objectively the funniest WoW boss in history. He is perfecting a plague to end all life on Azeroth, as suggested by the Lord's good news. But then he turns around and gives us a banger line like,
Good news, everyone! Just an ordinary gas cloud. But watch out, because that's no ordinary gas cloud.
I love this dude. Oh, what's that? What's his lore? That's a good question. I got nothing. Anyways, he has a fuckload of mechanics spread out across 3 phases, but I am not reading that. He is claimed to be the second hardest encounter in Icecrown Citadel, right behind the Lich King himself. Do shit, dodge shit, hit shit, yeah.
taking a shit while I'm sucking a bitch's dick.
Professor got a lot up his sleeve, but to combat that, one of our party members must voluntarily turn himself into a Chernobyl mutation to deal with most of it. So in turn, all I gotta do is stand by and listen to the raid leader, which is absolutely bonkers, because I seem to be the only person listening to the raid leader. Hey guys, why am I the only one listening to the raid leader?
Does anyone have, like, smoke flares? This is actually fucking painful. Do this.
If everybody stayed at the table and just DPS the shit, it would be dead.
Because, like, I actually want to scream at people in this raid. I'm literally going to make a line. And if you were ever past the line, you're out. It's dodgeball, okay?
Like, this is the last week before pre-patch. We should know what we're doing here. Unless you're Kosher, which we know doesn't know the fights, right? That guy gets a pass, and I don't think he's making mistakes.
I've been in the hills fucking dudes.
I see this cool outline I'm making with smoke flare. There's your visual aid. If you go to the outside of the room, like if you're fucking like, oh, I got this red on me, I'm gonna fucking run over here in the corner. You're wrong.
And then
can you do that again? That was good.
No. Okay. We're gaming.
You should only res people who died inside the line. I'm following mechanics. Probably. And in time, we massacre the oozes. We slaughter the slimes. We deliver death unto the blights. And we bring retribution to class. The bell does not dismiss you, Professor. Motherfucker, I do! Trauma has dropped. Think I'll buy this one for 20k. Could be Biss and Kata. With the Professor dead, the Plague Wing was conquered. And it was on to what we would call the Blutflügel. If we lost World War II, the Blood Wing has a lot of blood and sickness, and thus it's easy to feel a number of ways. A, negative, B, positive, or C, what I did there? The Vampire Wing is comprised of 2 bosses, the Council of Balls and the Blood Milf. The goal is to head upwards through the Sanguine halls as many sad saps struck with vampirism shout out at you, "You bastard!" and make your way to the royal fuckery going on up top. As we massacre these vampires, I want to take a second and ask you something. Dear viewer, do you ever think vampires have a lack of vitamin D from no exposure to sunlight and that's why they have to drink blood? No, you just don't think about that at all. Yeah, it's probably because you're always thinking about yourself. Anyways, onwards to the 8th boss. You guys ever kiss a guy on the mouth? Can I get a hell yeah? The funny thing about these guys is that they're sort of like the average Discord user in that they show you their balls without your permission, and I don't like that very much. Seriously, 90% of this fight is hitting balls and ensuring they don't hit the ground, as the 3 juggle between being attackable or not. They have mechanics, but I'm gonna pretend like you know them and move on. Lore-wise, these guys are goofy Sandlane Prince fucks, as in they are all royal failures. Seriously, even Prince Mishkin would look at these guys and go, "Oh my, there is no beauty in these souls at all." All 3 of these guys were NPCs that were killed during leveling, then brought back to undead life by Arthas for shits and giggles. They aren't even final bosses of their respected dungeons, and one of them wasn't even good enough to be in a dungeon. They have no importance. These guys were failures from day one. Why did Arthas even want them to come back? Regardless, balls were bouncing, fire was flinging, which ended my life, and I swore they kept saying, "You bastard!" Maybe that was just the wind. Anyways, in due time, the poor princely pussies were drowned in vicious entropy, and nothing of value was lost. Except for me. Now it's on to Blood Milf Lanathel. Blood Queen Lanathel has probably the most fun and interesting set of mechanics in the entire raid. Basically, the highest DPS gets bitten, kinky, turning them into a vampire. This increases their DPS by a fuck ton, but they only have a minute to use this buff until they become mind controlled. Classic WoW. What they have to do is pass the vampire bite onto another player. Preferably, you would pass the buff onto the second highest DPS and then rinse and repeat, as the hot vampire lady occasionally floats to the sky and makes makes everyone freak the fuck out, as well as setting random people on fire, you know, as you do. Keeping this order in mind, everyone needs to become a vampire eventually, and through that and that alone will you be able to defeat her. So like any streamlined and functioning guild, this raid had a bite order prepared. This let the group know who would be the first to be bitten, the second, so on and so forth. But to ensure the order was met, no one could DPS the boss, as the highest DPS always gets bit first, and they intended it a certain way, so the order was to stand still until the first bite went out. I took this as my chance to go take a piss, but things ended up getting a bit rowdy in my disappearance.
Zombie, what are you doing? Zombie mage, you lost your cut. Zombie, you are biting Zolaris first. If you don't do it, I'm just gonna kick you out of the ring. Zombie, do you understand? I need something in chat. Fucking stop DPSing, put a 1 if you understand what I just said.
Well, we have no bites
We
now.
have to wipe now. If you want to
Wipe
be
it,
DP.
I'm kicking him out of the raid. I don't give a fuck.
That was great, dude.
Well, you don't have to worry about getting him a cut because he's not here.
A reminder, the only thing that we had to do was stand still, though this weirdo named Zombie Mage, the bastard that took my place originally in the raid roster by the way, took it upon himself to DPS the boss and then not bite anybody. He was removed. Shocker that I was the better mage, and I was literally taking a fat piss to Nightchord's smooth jazz. As time went on, Zombie Mage would make himself known to be on the same team as a certain virgin dropout paladin, as this lowly virgin began to harass all the women in the raid for being women. Regardless, after one wipe, we pursued the blood milf once more. I do be pumping though, as Preachy told us about Zombie Mage's incel behavior, and Midnight began to tell Zombie Mage off. The God King Rally joined the Discord voice chat to advertise an event.
Like, literally, he's like, oh, because you're female, you think you're so great, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's literally just being a toxic piece of shit.
Who is it?
That Zombie Mage. Like, you should see my private messages right now.
So, 2 announcements, guys.
Uninstall the game.
So,
you
two
are bad.
announcements for you guys, by the way. Just wanted to get them out really quick. So, tomorrow's going to be a team effort.
Not a good time.
Rally sat defeated as the group continued on in sour spirits, with an incel bombarding us with random unwarranted screams into the abyss. Though, as time would have it, our group proved to be autonomous with shit and capitalized on the weakness of any living thing, that is, its ability to die, and began to desecrate and massacre the blood milf without mercy. In the final moments, a call was made for Rally to motivate the group towards victory.
Rallies, motivate. Say something positive.
So, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, guys, gathering up in Ord Red Hour. Try to not do... By the way, how many of you guys are East Coast?
And with that, we defeated the heroic Crimson Halls of the Vampire Wing. With most of us dead, all of us aware of what was going down tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. server time, my Bis necklace now in possession, say grats, and no one sure who was on East Coast, we rezzed and treaded forward to the final wing of Icecrown Citadel, the Frost Wing. Ooh, wow, that's a good name. This place was home to the 2 dragon bosses, or I guess the 1 dragon boss, since the other is a healing boss. Here, let me tell you about it. Right after we skank out and slaughter this Valkyrie. Anyways, on to the next boss. And I use the term boss extremely loosely. Essentially, the healers heal the dragon, and then we win the game. That's the boss. Thanks for watching. We moved onward into the spider-infested halls before the Queen of Frost herself, and cosplayed as CB80 Contact Aerosol, which led to the unfortunate death of many Nerubians. Once outside, we slaughtered the 2 undead frozen dragons, Rhymefang and Spinestalker, before the Frost Queen herself came down from the blue malevolent sky above to wreak havoc on us all, and leave us like the 1,000 English soldiers camped out on April 13th, 1360. Seriously, how did you guys lose to hail and still think that God was on your side? Blah blah blah. Next boss. One of the best, most well-designed and fucking banging bosses in World of Warcraft. Iconic, seminal, supreme, fucking classical. Sindragosa is a testament of boss design, and for the time, a monument of spectacle. The highest fantasy of high fantasy is always to go one-on-one with a dragon. Whether that means politically, sexually, or violently is up to you. But it most certainly is a desire that one always finds themselves having in a fantasy world. And well, before in World of Warcraft, there had been Nefarian and Onyxia, iconic bosses to their own rights, many whelps, more dots, all that. The sheer extravaganza of Sindragosa goes so so far and beyond anything this game has had before, and dare I say subsequently, in terms of dragon fights that is. Using the raid members encased in ice to shield yourself from her frost bombs, juggling debuffs and splash attacks, a perfect balance of presentation and playstyle. Sindragosa slaps the king. You know, I even had that Lego knockoff of Sindragosa and Arthas back when I was a kid, which I unfortunately lost. Sindragosa flew from phase to phase, freezing us in place and turning us into bullet sponges, pausing our casting and making us run around like decapitated hydras getting head from Dulahans. But regardless, her undead frost magic was not enough to best even the worst of us, and we iced her in no time at all. She fell alongside a Biss trinket. Wow, that's so cool. With all 3 wings of the Citadel exterminated, it was on to the final boss. My dream. My wish. It was here where we took a 3-minute break, and I decided to sit with the plastic rune blade from all of those years ago. To be fair, I knew not the challenges that faced me when I made Kosher the Mage all that time ago. I knew not the cost I would pay, the friends lost, the stories left untold, the betrayal, the setbacks, and despite it all, I stood at the foot of the frozen throne with no logs to show, no real experience, and only the gold I made from bartering humorous skeleton wordplay. All that time ago, I didn't know what awaited me. I didn't know if victory was carved in stone. I didn't know if the losses were worth it. I didn't know how to feel, but I was confident in one thing. I did know that that stupid little kid who made an undead rogue way back in 2007 would be proud of me. I knew for him, it's all worth it. For him, I'll do anything I can to slay the Lich King. 5 days before my deadline, finally, I stood face to face with the result of my reverie, the big man himself, Arthas, the Lich King. A promising prince who became obsessed with stopping a plague of undeath that ravaged his people. This obsession forced him into chasing the source of said plague, a demon named Mal'Ganis, who hid in the frozen tundras of Northrend. Arthas chased him, and in the tumultuous north found a cursed blade that spoke to him, whispered to him. A blade that the young prince grew to believe would be the only thing powerful enough to slay the demon, stop the plague, and save his people. However, as he mantled the cursed rune blade and slew the demon Mal'Ganis, it was already too late. The whispers replaced all reason in his mind, corrupted him, and when he returned home to Lordaeron, he was already forever changed. Arthas slew his father and ravaged the eastern kingdoms in place of the plague that he once sought to destroy, using his sword Frostmourne to raise the dead. After slaying over 80% of the High Elves and hundreds of thousands of innocents, he raised them as undead to join his army, the Scourge. Arthas listened to his blade and returned to Northrend to take up the crown of Ner'zhul, to forever kill who he once was and become the Lich King. Sat atop the frozen throne, Arthas froze to death and dreamt in his dead slumber, only to be awakened many, many years later, with intent to slay all life on Azeroth and make them join the armies of the Scourge. And here I stood, in a place I knew I did not belong, face to face with him, the fallen prince of Lordaeron, the corrupted son of King Taranis Menethil II, the final boss of Icecrown Citadel, Arthas, the Lich King. While his story is tragic, beautiful, controversial, and arguably the best written character in Warcraft, the boss fight itself luckily echoes those same values. A masterclass of design, execution, mechanics, storytelling, and the pinnacle of what Warcraft can be. But I'll let the guides handle his mechanics. Instead, let your eyes visually perceive what is about to go down. I took one last glance at the plastic Frostmourne I made nearly 2 decades past, remembered the promise I made to my younger self, and we pulled for the last time as I finally got my chance to slay the Lich King.
fuck's sake.
We wiped? Is it over?
Yo, son.
I see only darkness.
Eyes up, Warlock.
Huh? Yo, I'm a mage.
Enough!
SukMyRoot? Is that you? How are you here? Am I dead?
SukMyRoot! I'm a world tree, motherfucker! I dig them druid vibes, good vibrations all around. My tendrils run through the crust of this little world, son. Life exists because of my roots. If any need a breath of it, just say the word and be given life. When one dies, they see me. Some may see me as a god. But I'm a fucking tree, motherfucker.
Yo, look, Mr. Root, we wiped on the Lich King, and I've wanted to slay him for years, for so many years, and we all died, and I don't think we're gonna make it, and...
SukMyRoot! Chill the fuck out! Ride the wave! Why you think I was with you all that time, always on that ledge? Watching over you. I sent you into Blackrock Mountain, I sent you past the Dark Portal. I was helping you get that coin to bang out this raid. Why you think I was always healing your ass in dungeons? You think I was a side character or something? Nah. I was your fucking guardian. I'm a tree, fool. SukMyRoot! I'm divine intervention itself. I am nature! And you think I'm gonna let your ass wipe on the Lich King after all this time? Fuck no! SukMyRoot! I need you to say the word, and I'll bring your asses back to life. I will res you. I will return you to the fight. You think after all this time I'm gonna let you fail here? Your dream will come true. And you need to say the word. All you need to do is say the word.
Say the word, and my dream will come true. Alright. Thank you, my liege. Here goes nothing. SukMyRoot! Yeah, bitch! Let's fucking go! That's what I'm fucking talking about, dude! Yes! Yes, dude! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Fuck yes! There it is! Thank you, SukMyRoot! Thank you, Synergy! Thank you, Vietnam! And good night! After many tribulations and tremendous amounts of melodrama, I was finally, Kosher the Kingslayer. As the final days of Wrath of the Lich King Classic ticked by, I mounted my nether drake and rode through the barrens, knowing in a few short days they would be forever changed. Anytime I came across new players, I would give them a few thousand gold and ask them that they please enjoy Classic WoW. After a few hours of mindlessly running around the barrens and throwing money into the void, I decided to head back to Orgrimmar. I took one final look at the place, sitting at just over 6,000 total gear score. The nether drakes obtained, every goal I yearned for accomplished, in the best guild on the server, and above all else, the Kingslayer title right overhead. It was there, atop the bank, that I logged out of Wrath Classic for the final time. The world would be forever changed when the Cataclysm sunders Azeroth, but that's okay. I've done all that I wanted to do in Classic WoW. I went after every dream I had when I was younger, and came out on top. But through the arduous adventure that consumed just over half a year, I learned something. Something that was true 15 years ago and still rings true to this day. World of Warcraft is special in that it brings out the best and worst of a person. It exposes you to who they really are. Manipulators lose their masks and narcissists have the nerve to fucking talk. Going into this adventure, I wanted to have a guild with 5 people, but out of those 5 people that I started with, only I remained. Only I stuck it through. And way back when, in days long past, winter night LAN parties and summer day Mists of Pandaria leveling races with my friends, the fact remained the same, even retrospectively. Among all the people who played with me all those years ago, I am the only one who remained. It's all too often that the people who you start playing World of Warcraft with aren't the people you beat World of Warcraft with, but that's okay.
they get sifted through, and new friends are made along the way. And here I sit, Kosher the Kingslayer. Wherever that kid version of me is, long lost in the past, I know that he would be proud of me. Whether I'm impressive to others or not is no matter, for I know for a fact that if that kid version of me saw myself now in Orgrimmar, he would inspect my character with overwhelming awe and think, wow, I want to be that guy. And that is all I ever wanted. As the curtains fall on my tale, I beg you let me leave you with some parting words. If you have any dreams, no matter how small, turn around and run towards them. They aren't going anywhere, but if you're walking away, they're only going to get further from you. It's your choice whether they disappear or not. If there is anything in this world that you want to take a hold of, anything that would make your younger self smile with glee, anything that may bring a very welcome joy into your life, let this be your cue to go for it. Your dreams don't need to be about becoming a celebrity or saving the world. Not everyone has to be the best at this or that. You don't need to be the most motivated person or rich beyond belief. And I hate that it's instilled in us that dreams have to be the biggest things in the world. They don't. Water the smaller seeds, and believe me when I say you'll be bewildered by the flowers that bloom. Maybe there's a game that you never got to beat that has always been in the back of your mind, or maybe there's a book that you never wrote, maybe a friend that you want to reconnect with, or a hobby that you let go of that you'd like to get back into. There is no dream too small and no dream impossible. So go for it. Chase the little things. No matter what people say, they're dreams too, and they deserve to be obtained. And lastly, as the Kosher the Kingslayer saga comes to a close, I bid thee farewell, and hope that you come with me for what I have in store next, and know for a fact that it will be worth it. And until next time, thank you for watching. The